Hey, good morning everybody. It's like 95 degrees here, and we just finished putting this building up. I'm going to rent these. We got two of these buildings we put up. We're going to rent them out, and across the way here you can see the other one on the other side. That was a project from last summer. That's a very busy, very busy industrial area in New York. So we had to pave the street out here for the town. They got to pave the parking lot. Have water mains are being put in. But anyway, we got my new Holland 785, 1994. One of the best machines I ever had. Really, nothing ever goes wrong with this thing. Minor hoses and the Perkins 4-cylinder. I just put the water pump in it because it was getting wobbly. You just got to take this top cover off, but it's not that hard to do. And the wheel seals always drip a little. The trick is, don't fill up the hydro all the way. Fill like halfway, or otherwise it drips when you park it on a hill. Because the hydraulic reservoir is the chain cases, so just keep the level a little low, and you're fine. And anyway, so what I'm doing today is I had to make the bushings for this controlled. Was getting worn out, and it would not respond properly. And I got it so it's centered, so the pump is in neutral when you're idling and warming it up. It's not buzzing away, making all that noise. This side's not bad. And it's one of the tricks I want to show everybody. See that cap? That cap down there is a suction screen. There's a big tube screen that screens all the oil from the chain cases on either side into the charge pump. That's the main heart, charge pump, that produces all the power for the buckets and pre-charges the two hydrostat pumps. You got to have at least 300 pounds around about PSI just to charge these. They go up to 4,000 or 5,000 to the wheel mode, drive motors for the wheels, like on a bulldozer or independent sides, left and right. But that charge pump relies on that screen being nice and clean, so it could, especially in the winter when the oil's cold. I've seen, when I got this machine, the guy thought the pump was bad. And nothing would happen. It would shatter, not go anywhere. I took that out, totally clogged. Cleaned it fine. And it came from a case dealer that went out of business. He didn't even know enough to check it. So anyway, the older machines had these pumps through a spline shaft into the flywheel and a flex plate. That would strip. It was a bad design because the whole thing would bounce like this on the bell housing. It was only 2 bolts. There was no stiffness, so it would, as you run the machine, the pumps and motor would bounce and misalign the spline and strip them. I changed a few of them years ago. This is a better one. This one has a big universal joint, heavy duty. It goes right to the flywheel, and you can grease it, which it says they had to grease. I'm going to do that now. You remove that panel and grease it and make sure it's good. Otherwise you don't want that coming apart. But this has the 2-speed. Where is it? There it is. High and low. This thing is fast. In Rabbit, this thing goes, I don't know how far. You can just about run to keep up to this thing. And low, this thing digs. I've never had such a good machine. I paid like $5 grand for this machine 10 years ago. And he's got to be painted. It looks a little beat up, but it's good. No one wants to steal it. Everyone wants the new shiny one that breaks down. I'm going to clean it up and paint it soon. But this has the high boom. That still goes up about another 4 foot. I got a 4-in-1 bucket, a backhoe, and the forks for this thing. But you could load a full height dump truck, no problem. You don't need to build no ramp. And this thing, see the long wheelbase? This thing carries a lot for what it is. I mean, I had a Jersey barrier, just about picks it up and moves it. Perkins 4.203, excellent motor. You got to give it a shot of ether when it's cold. Big deal. I smashed that myself. But otherwise, man, I'll tell you. You see one of these L85s, 785s, from the mid-early 90s. Grab it. And one thing I did do, just as a warning, it's my fault. See the piston up there? See all that weld work on the over there? I ripped that out of that area. because I had this goofy backhoe attachment that goes on here, and I was trying to rip out concrete, and it put so much stress, it just broke it. So I fixed that, and then I snapped the end off the eye off the piston shaft. I rewelded both of them actually, but that was after a tremendous amount of overstress and use of this thing. We had a hammer on this thing. We just did a big I don't know, 10 by 20 1 foot thick slab we busted up at a mobile station with this thing. It's kind of funny, really. It's like, when I die, I'm gonna have them put me in there and bury me in this machine. You gotta grease these axle seals, you know, because if you give them a shot every time you do a job, and all the other fittings are all up there, there's fittings up there, you know, I could replace 1 or 2 more hoses. The only downfall is I don't have the glass for the front, which I'm going to try to find. In the winter, you get snow in your lap, but I'm not even doing snow removal no more. I don't want to do it. Let the kids do that. I just saved this machine now for little jobs we do, rather than rent one. And I tell you, the guy had a brand new Cat one out there, a track machine. It cost almost $80,000. Tell you what, I was moving dirt almost as fast as him. I couldn't find grade as good as the track, though. I admit that. But hey, if I was going to load stuff, I could go faster than him. I was probably 2 miles an hour faster across the parking lot. With this thing's a lightning bolt, this thing. But anyway, enough bragging about my old crusty machine. I got my old crusty Ford truck back there that I got to work on. I got to just put another new transmission in that. It's got the 7.3 Power Stroke, which is, you know, excellent motor, all stock. But it melted. Like, I think this is the 3rd tranny it melted. This time I put a cooler on it. The reason it melted is the guy that had it would leave it in overdrive when he was towing stuff, and he didn't know enough to let the tranny cool down. Now, I never melted a tranny personally. Other guys that don't know, because I've actually rebuilt automatic trannies myself. So it's just I put new tires, another transmission. I had a good guy, one of the best guys around, do the tranny on this. And also we got these. These are brand new Manitowoc $9.99 crawler crane gantry cylinders. Brand new. Brand new. Anybody want them? Make an offer. I got them at an auction at Ritchie Brothers. I couldn't let them go for like almost nothing, and they're brand new. They're $25,000 for Manitowoc. So you make me an offer. I got a block. I got an 80-ton Libra block. And what else we got here? We got to get rid of. We just finished this building, so we didn't even set it up yet. There's all temporary stuff. Here's a Miller block. That Miller block is a 911 block.